Okay. Put the camera there. And put the microphone as close as possible and try not to get that in frame. Right. Hopefully the levels are alright. Don't want to peek. Don't want to peek. Okay. Let's post that. Twitter. Apologies if you're watching this afterwards. I just setting things up and shit. So, yeah, you'll just have to skip ahead if you're watching this after it's gone live. It's just setting. What the fuck? Fuck off, ag block. What the hell, ag block? Right, we've got one person. I'm just going to quickly check my audio on here, just to see. Right, we've got one person. Okay, so... yeah, my audio... it sounds alright. Sounds alright, the audio, hopefully. At least from my end and that, because I know some of them have been a little bit all over the place. Hopefully I've got the levels correct and that this time. But yeah, this live stream is going to be talking about season 25 Blu-ray. I'll probably talk about other stuff on that as well. Upcoming B&M sex, where the fuck are they? And that along the way. Hey, we've got 3 people. What was that comment? Alongside that. Oh, message redacted. Oh, I saw a comment from and it's gone. I can't answer it now. It just says message redacted. Oh well. So yeah, season 25 Blu-ray, which... oh, that comment's back. I'll answer it now. It's time to rip things out of our leg school. Yeah, we'll get to him. Well, don't worry, we'll get to him. We'll get to him. Won't we? Yeah, we'll get to him. I've got the other one over there. But don't worry, we will get to Aldebar. But yeah, I'm going to talk about season 25. So, season 25, there was a disappointment for me. There was a disappointment. And the main disappointment is that if you wanted to watch extended versions of all of the stories, basically all of the stories with all of their deleted scenes, put back in, you had to watch them with the bloody shitty CGI updates. Oh my god, are they terrible. Like, Remembrance of the Daleks, Jesus Christ. But here's another thing. For some fucking reason, they've got the same guy, by the way, who did the abysmal editing for the Daleks in colour. They've got that guy back to re-edit the special edition versions of these stories, these special extended versions. And my god, for some reason as well, whenever there's an alternate take, and that wasn't used in the final story, they use that in the special extended version. Why? There's a reason that take wasn't used, because it was shit. There's a reason that... and I will show an example of this later on that in the stream, but there's a bit where, for example, there's a piece of Dalek dialogue, and my god, it is hilariously bad. And there's a reason that take wasn't used, 'cause it was fucking awful. But there's also bits where the shots and the continuity no longer make sense because the editing is so bad. Why did they hire that guy again to do the editing for them? I really don't know. But what annoys me even more is they could have easily fit on an extended version without CGI. But why? So why did you do both? I don't know why. Why didn't you do both? You've done that, like, because on this one, for some reason, like, give Remembrance of the Daleks, for example. Every story has the original broadcast version, then it has a version with updated effects, and then it has an extended version with updated effects and also atrocious editing. So why not have the extended version, have the original broadcast version and then an extended version on one disc, and then have the updated effects and then extended version with updated effects on another disc. And then you'd be able to fit all of them on there. Why? Why did you do it this way? It makes no fucking sense. And also, Silver Nemesis, right? It claims to have the VHS extended version in there. And it does. But what they don't tell you is that unlike, for example, when they did the VHS version of... what was it they did? Curse of Fenwick. When they mentioned... With Curse of Fenwick, the VHS extended version still had, the new transfers, the new updated transfers, so it's still, you weren't losing quality if you watched the VHS extended version on the Season 26 Blu-ray. Not the case on Season 25. For whatever reason, it's just a digitized version of the VHS. Yeah, they've literally got a VHS of Silver Nemesis and just digitized it, and it looks and sounds terrible. It looks and sounds terrible. Why? Why have you put that version on there? Like, seriously, you had all these, you had this new restoration and that, and they do look great. Though I will say they are starting to go a little bit too much into the AI upscaling. Like, I'm fine with them scaling it and that, but when they're doing a bit AI upscaling, it gives it that sort of plasticky look. And you can tell it's AI, doesn't look real type of thing. It's kind of pushing a little bit too much AI, everything. Which, yeah, don't do that. Don't, these are on videotape and that, it's not going to look amazing. It will never look amazing because it's on videotape, and unfortunately, you can't really do anything with that unless obviously you AI upscale it. But then you start losing detail and you give everything this sort of plasticky look on everyone's faces. It looks just a bit odd. So, yeah. So what I did, and this was an absolute pain in the arse to do, but I did do it. I made my own extended versions of all of the stories. I put back in the deleted scenes myself, which you'd think it'd be an easy task. No, it's not. It's not an easy task, because the problem was I did not have the isolated soundtrack for any of them, and also I didn't have the isolated restored footage for any of them. So, for example, Happiness Patrol, I had to use the deleted scenes, which I just ported over from the DVD on there, to make an extended version of that, because with that they decided to put a load of CGI. Why on Happiness Patrol? It doesn't need it. It doesn't need... I don't know why, But, so, others, a lot of the, like, what am I going to use? Remembrance of the Daleks, I used the regular, the broadcast version as a basis, and then added in the deleted scenes from the special edition which has the CGI in there. Also, Mark Ayres has done new remixes of the audio surround sound remixes, and they sound abysmal. They really sound abysmally bad. They've got a really harsh metallic edge to them. They just do not sound good. Which is just like, what the hell happened to Mark Ayres? What happened to you, Mark Ayres? Like, you used to do really good restorations, but really, ever since Power of the Daleks, you've just kind of gone downhill. Like, who remembers that Power of the Daleks surround sound versions that he did? Where the Daleks were clipping over each other's dialogue and it just didn't sound right. I know I could realise what he was going for with that one, at least. With this, I've no idea. But yeah, just the audio sounded bad. But also with some of the special editions, the scenes are being reordered as well. The guy editing, again, that same guy who edited the Daleks in colour, for some reason he's also reordered some of the scenes in the special editions as well, which means they don't really make sense. I'll give you an example. In Silver Nemesis, when Ace fires the gold coin at the Cyber Leader, the scene where he takes it out and then gets back up is put directly after that. So Ace would have still been up there and seen him get up. So it makes no fucking sense now. And there's a few other bits as well. For example, the Special Weapons Dalek is shown and that before its initial introduction in the original version, and then he plays the clip of the Emperor saying, order Special Weapons Dalek into position, even though Special Weapons Dalek was already in position from the footage that we've seen already that you put in. So it doesn't make sense anymore. It's just why? These are they just baffle me. But yeah, I've made my own extended versions and that of each story. Remembrance of the Daleks was the easiest and most difficult one to do, because there were bits in that one where I had to instantly switch from broadcast version, then the version with CGI, the special edition version, and then also then just raw deleted scenes put in there. For example, the bit where Ace originally gets the baseball bat when she hits it off the settee. Obviously, in the special edition version, they put CGI over that, whereas on the deleted scenes version, they've used the original effect. So it was basically cutting in that between them, because obviously I still want it to be in the best quality possible. But yeah, those were a pain in the arse to do, but I did them. And those will most likely be the... well, I say most likely. Remembrance of the Daleks, I'll probably watch the extended version of that again. Happiness Patrol, I think I prefer the broadcast version, actually. I think the extended version, and that goes on a bit too long, waffles on a bit too more. I think it's better as a tighter one. Southern Nemesis, I'll probably watch the extended version of. And Greatest Show in the Galaxy, only episodes 1 and 3 have deleted scenes, and there's barely any. And that, so that one I could give or take. Doesn't really matter much for that one. So yeah, but I'm going to show some examples. I'll quickly read the comments, but then I'll show some examples of what I'm talking about. So it's baffling how they did Resurrection Growing. It's almost in perfect colour for the Renegades, but they didn't use the green on the Renegades last year. Yeah, as I say, I said that in the review. In fact, here it is. I mean, look at that. And I've had several people say, oh no, it is the right colour, it's perfect, it matches what it looks like on TV. No, it bloody doesn't. It doesn't. Like, if it was the wrong colour of the actual prop, but it matched what it looked like on TV, then I would say, okay, fine. Either, like, basically, if it matched the prop how it looked on TV, I'd say, fine, okay. Or if it matched how it actually looks, in real life, I'd still say, okay. This is neither of them. Again, this is close to a Renegade. If you did this in a matte finish, this colour in a matte finish, it would be pretty close to a Renegade. Yeah. I can't remember whether I mentioned this in my review or not, but the eye, the ball at the end of the eye should be a matte finish, and so should the plunger cups as well. Why they're not, I don't know, but they should be. Also, this one that I opened actually has a bit of scuffing or something on there, something bubbling in the paint. But yeah, the problem with the the problem with the Resurrection Dalek is that it's difficult to find an off-the-shelf paint that matches it, because the paints were mixed by hand. So I say Battleship Grey, like that's kind of a close approximation to it. But even then, you know, it very much depends. But on these, but that's what I've heard the most going around, and that they're meant to be Battleship Grey. But yeah, the paints were hand mixed, so finding an off-the-shelf counterpart is very difficult. It was only very lucky that a friend of mine, Reese, I don't know if it was Reese himself or whether it was Mike Tuck who found this, but basically a very good match to the Renegade Dalek paint was found, like an off-the-shelf one, which I've still got some left. But yeah, it was just lucky with that one, that there just happened to be an off-the-shelf one that matched the props pretty much exactly, or as close as it could. Whereas this, there isn't any current off-the-shelf paints that match the actual prop, because again they were hand mixed. Again, you can get close approximations and that to it, but yeah. But again, it didn't need to be this. Like I said, it could have just been and I'm going to grab it. I've got it right here. Why didn't you just repaint it like this? And this isn't how this normally looks anyway, because this is my one that I sprayed with clear gloss to give it a glossy finish. And some people have asked me, oh, does the gloss hold up? Well, as I said, I painted this last year. So yeah, this was painted just barely over a year ago now. And as you can see, the gloss has held up really well. So, yeah. This one, right. And also, interestingly with this one, the sucker is a matte finish on this one. And has also got the little bit of silver just there. This one doesn't. Which again is weird, because the Toys R Us version of this was the first one to do the little bit of silver at the end of the plunger. So why this one doesn't have it, I don't know. Of course, obviously this one you can't, unfortunately. It would be really nice if you could use this one as, you know, a Resurrection Dalek. Unfortunately, you can't because of its dome lights, and also it has, for some reason, they gave it a 70s eye. Why? I don't know why. It you know, just use the Destiny eye. Like, you just like, why didn't you use the Destiny eye? Baffles me. And it has a straight gun as well. It has an Imperial gun. Which by this point it should be this. You know, the pinched one. But... and it should have the oval as well. But yeah, just how these keep happening and that, I have no idea. I've no idea how, you know, this... well, I know how. Because Alduar, you know, doesn't pay attention and that. Like, seriously. Yeah. And in terms of him claiming to speak with people like Dalek 6388, he spoke to them after the fact. After the figures are already being released, at least last year. And didn't really talk about anything, you know, upcoming or anything like that. So yeah. Anyway, we'll get on to showing the clips that I want to show in this video. So let me, let me share my screen. Oh god, come on Windows. I fucking hate Windows 11. Season 25. Right. So the first thing I want to show here, and I'm just going to turn my camera off on that for there to see a bit of battery. So it doesn't overheat. First thing I want to show here is in part 4. And what I mean by them using an alternate take. So let me scrub to the right section. Okay. Here we are. Okay. So let me just check that. Right, here we go. So I'm going to play a little section here, and I want you to pay attention to the Dalek dialogue in this section. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Let me just play that again. Let me play that again. Under attack! Under attack! Oh god, and just to show, you know, what it should sound like. We get the original version up.
Order Mothership 509 player.
See how it sounds there in comparison? That's the kind of stuff I'm bloody talking about. My god. But also the editing as well. And I'm going to show you the best example of how bad it is. We'll go to part 2. So we're going to go to part 2, and we're just going to have to pause it for a minute. We'll go ahead 10 seconds. Yeah, we'll go ahead 10 seconds, and we're going to play a little section now, and oh boy, I hope this doesn't get taken down either, but yeah, the editing here, it gets pretty bad. Open the door. Ooh. Now, it doesn't look awful there, but this bit here looks horrible. Ooh. Look at, I don't know if you can hear this, but the way it keeps editing back together, it's really weird. And now look, that is just blown through. What the hell? What the hell's up with that editing? Here.
I'm sorry.
But also listen to the music.
Yes?
Because we're going to get a music. You get the bit here where they get outside, which, yeah, it's really weirdly edited together there. And just, you know, again for comparisons, we'll show the original version. Part 2 here.
Yes. Exterminate! Exterminate! Exterminate!
him?
Stomachache.
School dinners.
Yes, he tried to lock you in.
Face!
This whole section here just gone from the other. Really bloody weird. And there's a boom. Because that's meant to signal the explosion. And then there's the calmness afterwards.
Sorry.
But obviously, in the special edition, it doesn't have that now. So you can see how they kind of just, you know, fuck things up there. And the editing is, there's a load of bits like that where it's just alternate, you know, takes. And it just kind of baffles me. It just kind of baffles me, this kind of stuff. But hey, there you go. Hopefully, there we go. We've detected your scream is belonging to someone else. You can. So I've gotten a content warning from showing those clips there, those brief clips. Yeah, if I was editing this together, I'd chop them up a little bit more, but you get what I mean. If those clips did show and they didn't just block it, I don't know, because I wasn't watching it live. Did they block those clips from Remembrance of the Daleks that just showed? Because if they did, then obviously my point is going to be completely lost if it didn't show the clips. So, someone let me know who was watching the stream. Did it show the clips from Remembrance of the Daleks? I guess showed right there, because I tried, you know, I showed about 20 seconds maybe. Okay, the stream is considerably behind. I'm just looking. You know. Yeah, is it considerably behind? I'm just looking. You know. Are we still here, everyone? But yeah, hopefully you all get my point with this. And the thing is, I wouldn't have minded. If we had an extended version that that was basically, you know, just the broadcast version, but with the deleted scenes added back in. If we got that on there as well, fine. Which we did on the previous releases. Like, on season 26, that's what they did. In fact, for Ghostlight, on season 26, they did a new extended version of Ghostlight, adding in the surviving studio footage, but they didn't use the CGI. You know, they didn't add CGI or anything to that. For some reason, that one's only available in standard definition. I've no idea why. Maybe one day I might go back and redo that one. But yeah, for some reason, Ghostlight, the extended edition of Ghostlight, is only available in standard definition on the Blu-ray. I don't know why. Yeah. But there is space on the discs to do it. And basically, if you don't know how they do them and how they're able to fit, like, for example, the reason they're able to fit the broadcast version and an updated effects version on the same disc is basically, rather than having one episode which is the original broadcast, then another episode of the updated effects, that's not how it works. Because they do something much cleverer to save space, in that, because obviously the updated effects version, you know, most of it will just be the regular scenes. They'll only add them, you know, when needed. So what they do is they have each scene of a story on the disc on there individually, each scene, and when you select an episode or play all, it will basically tell the disc, okay, this person is selected, you know, to play episode 1, so play this scene after this scene after this scene after this scene. And obviously, if they want to play the version with updated effects, it'll go, okay, play this scene, then this scene, and then this one with CGI, and then back to this scene, and that's how they're able to fit them both on there, and that's the best way, and most efficient way to use the space on the disc. Because you've got 50 gigabytes on these discs, and basically each disc is 44 gigabytes, and that. But here's the thing: for whatever reason, and that's also why if you rip the discs, all the files off the discs, you'll get like 90 gigabytes, because it'll rip it as individual scenes, but it'll also detect a version, you know, where it says play this scene after this scene after this scene, and just groups that together as one file. So that's how that works. That's me trying to explain it as best I can, if that makes sense. But my point is that they could have fit that on there, and it would have been easy enough to do as well. It's an easy enough thing to do. Just literally add in the deleted scenes, and that you're already doing it, and then having to add in CGI. So just do that before you add in the CGI, and then add that in afterwards, and then there you go, done. Easy job, and that to go there. But yeah, but no, I've had to do it myself, which was a pain in the arse to do. But it's done now, and I've kept the saved, even though I've deleted the raw rips for this. I've kept the edits saved, just in case I ever decide to go back and have another go at it. I'm pretty happy with them. But yeah, it's such an odd thing why they would do that. Why they would make, you know, those unavailable. But yeah, and also the fact that they've re-edited them as well, because they've not done that before. Normally, this is the first time they've done re-edits to them. Because normally what they do is, with the CGI, you know, the updated effects version, is they just add the updated effects. But with these versions, they've also... There's a version with updated effects, and then there's an updated effects version which, you know, adds in the deleted scenes, but also changes the order of some of the scenes. It has new music done by Marquez, which sounds horrible in places, and the actual new surround sound mixes that Marquez have done, again, sound horrible. They sound really sort of tinny and metallic, like the audio is being squashed down, and then it's just being amplified rather than, you know, using the full audio spectrum. So yeah, it's a bit weird that is the case. Yeah. Again, I don't know why. Maybe it was RTD who suggested it. Who knows? But yeah, it's just a bit of a weird thing. Special features, on the other hand, like actual special features, loved the behind the sofas for these, and they did something different with the behind the sofas for these, and that for each behind the sofa they had a special guest for each individual behind the sofa, where they get a cast member, you know, from each of the stories to also be part of the behind the sofa segments. I'll give you an example. They get Mark, I've forgotten his last name, who plays the Cyber Lieutenant for Silver Nemesis. They get Jessica, again I can't remember her last name, who plays Mags for Great Show in the Galaxy. They get, I can't remember her name at all, but the woman who plays Alison in Remembrance of the Daleks, they bring her in. Surprised they didn't get Terry Malloy for that one. Yeah, but they just bring those in. Janet Fielding's there, and like, this is the rule I have: Janet Fielding has to be in every single behind the sofa. Because it's not like, I was watching a behind the sofa the other day. I can't remember what season it was from. I think maybe season 2. No, not season 2. It was a different season. Can't remember which one. But it's not the same without Janet Fielding there. Janet Fielding has the best commentary for any of the episodes. Like, have to. And then obviously we also have Doctor Who, The Escape Room, which has Sylvester McCoy, Bonnie Langford, and Sophie Aldred, and that doing the escape room. It's the exact same escape room, but it's obviously it's interesting to see how, you know, each Doctor and companion crew and that tackle it and that. So that was a lot of fun to watch. And hopefully, you know, who have they got on the season? Who have they got for the Pertwee era? Obviously, Katie Manning. Was Katie Manning, I think, John Levine and someone else, I think. I can't remember who they've got because they only show it in the like little trailer. Obviously, I'm looking forward to when season 21 comes out because the escape room there, it's Peter Davison, Janet Fielding, and Sarah Sutton. And, oh, that that one's gonna be the best one. That one will be the best one, the most entertaining one, because of course it will be. But yeah, I'm seriously looking forward to that one. In terms of other new special features, what were the other new ones? I can't really remember. There's new in conversations and that, which are fine. The problem is with the in conversations, is that basically a lot of the time you already know 90% of the information in there. So yeah, there's no new documentaries or anything on here, unfortunately, because they were still ported across and that from the DVDs and that. So not a huge amount of new stuff there, but the new stuff that is there, I did enjoy. There's a very good documentary on there, and I've forgotten his name. Oh. What's his name? Sergeant Walters. Guy plays Mike in Remembrance of the Daleks. There's a really good documentary on him. And also how his story inspired RTD when he did It's a Sin. Though every time I see RTD interviewed, you kind of just go, oh, for God's sake, because RTD's biggest fan is RTD. That's RTD's biggest fan. So it's always a bit cringy when you're watching an interview and that with him on there. Speaking of which, Confidential is going for my player soon, which, yeah, I'm surprised. I'm assuming it's something to do with license agreements, possibly with music license agreements, who knows. But yeah, they're going for my player pretty soon, which I'm quite surprised about. Actually, I thought they would stay up there. And that they didn't put up the Torchwood equivalent to the Doctor Who Confidentials either. And obviously now it's happening, and I knew it would happen. More and more Doctor Who stories. Yeah, obviously we had 2 Tom Baker ones. We also had an Unearthly Child go last year as well, and that. But yeah, more Doctor Who stories and that are going off iPlayer. I mean, Fear Her went and that for, well, that one went for a very different reason. But yeah, the stuff keeps going. And that, which is why, you know, saying do not get rid of your DVDs or Blu-rays and that, you know, keep your physical editions. And basically, buy them all up now. Like, don't wait until later on, because later on, they might not be available, or if they are, they may be edited. For example, you know, despite what you may think of it, you cannot watch the original version with a fix for the Songtarans anymore. You can only watch an edited version of that. There's something else as well. Fear Her, you won't be able to watch the original version of that. And that, obviously, will only be slight difference. But, you know, it is, you know, changing things, changing history and that. So, regardless, you know, have your new version and that if you want, but keep the old version around. Just basically, this is the easiest way to solve it. put a warning up. Put a warning up, and there you go. You've covered yourself. Especially on the physical releases as well. Like, the physical releases, like, you know, obviously it's different, I guess, if it's on a streaming service or if it's broadcast, but if someone has a physical edition, you know, of anything, they have gone out of their way to go get it and, you know, pay more to have something physically. Like, so, yeah. I mean, Season 25, I've had that for years on DVD. But obviously, you know, I want it in the best quality possible. And I want the new special features and that. That's obviously the main reason you get it and that. Because, again, the quality difference, not night and day. Gotta say, it's not night and day. It is better. Some bits do look good, but not night and day. I think the main difference is the contrast is better. I think the colours are a bit better. It looks a bit less washed out. And that I think the colours and the contrast they've done with this new remaster, I think, are particularly better. And that, and across the board, I think, with these box sets and that, they look a bit less washed out. They've like up the saturation a little bit, not ridiculously, thankfully, but you know they do contrast a bit better. I think the colours definitely look better. And these will be the last physical releases, at least for the foreseeable future. You know, of classic Doctor Who, because some people are saying, oh, they'll do 4K Blu-rays. No. You won't be able to do them without doing some serious AI upscaling. Because 99% of classic Doctor Who is only available in standard definition. The only bits of true HD Doctor Who that exist are any film trims that still survive. And the only story done completely on film is Spearhead from Space. Although a close second goes to... Oh, fuck. I can never remember things when I need to remember things. I don't know why. Black Orchid, that's it. I just remember. Black Orchid. After long, see. Yeah, Black Orchid is like 90% on film. It was done on location for the most part. Only like bits in the TARDIS and that were done obviously in studio, but that was mostly done on film. In fact, season 19 has the most amount of surviving film still existing, which is why that one has the most HD content of any classic series box set. And obviously from season 23 onwards, it's all shot on videotape, whether it's on location or not. So yeah, that's basically, I mean, I'm not saying they won't do it, but like they'd have to AI upscale it, you know, to get it up to 4K, and it's not, and with current technology, it's not going to look good, and it won't look it won't be the original detail and that in there anyway. It'll be fake. And the other thing is, there isn't the colour information there for HDR. It's technically slightly less than SDR. So, yeah, basically, you know, I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but I'm just saying if it was, it would be completely fake. You know, it would all be AI, basically. But, obviously that's a story for another day. But, yeah, I've got a really itchy nose now. But I think I'll talk about... I'll have a quick look at the comments. Yeah, but let's talk about B&M. Let's talk about B&M. Because I am surprised we haven't even had any official announcement, at least, for the next lot of B&M sets. Because, you know, normally we would have had them by now, or at least had some leaks. And that, some more leaks stuff. But no, the only leaked stuff we have is, we know what the sets are going to be. We know what they're going to be. For the most part. But, yeah, and I know some people have definitely got their hands on them. And there's going to be 2 versions of the Dalek set. And I don't know if there's going to be 2 versions of the 3-pack. I don't know. But what I do know is, from what I've heard, is that the 3-pack is good. They said Alduar said, "Oh yeah, it's mainly a Series 2 type set," and the reason mainly is because obviously you've got River Song from Series 5 in there, but the other two figures, you got the yellow version of a Clockwork Droid, and you've also got a Cyberman, and supposedly it is a Cyberman. Which I was really hoping it was going to be a version from A Good Man Goes to War with the chest emblem on there, and that, but actually sculpted, and that the sculpted version, not the printed on version, that was actually released. And I think it comes with a gun, but there's maybe two variants of that. And obviously one could just be a Scandic Cyberman, the other one could be the Cyber Leader, or one has the arm gun, one doesn't. Who knows? What I hope it's going to be, if it is going to have to be a Series 2 Cyberman, I hope it's the Ghost version that was never released. So yeah, if you don't know, there was a prototype of a Cyberman from Series 2 that was basically completely translucent with a little bit of detail to make it look like the Ghost Cyberman coming through the void. And that unfortunately never got a release. And, you know, if there's any Series 2 Cyberman I would like to get released, that would be the one I would go for. Is it the one we're going to get? I doubt it. I think if it is going to have two variants, I think it's just going to be, one is going to be a Scandic Cyberman, and the other one is going to probably be a Cyber Leader. Maybe a Cyber Controller. But doubtful. It's normally just like a paint app difference between the two of them, but you never know. Clockwork Droid, I don't know if there'll be any difference between them, but yeah, in terms of the Dalek set, apparently one version is going to be blacker than the other, which to me that signifies that one is just going to be an Imperial Guard that's just got the black dome. But then the variant will be the one that's got like the black dome but also has a black skirt. Basically it'll be, you know, the same as the RC version that was released in the Dalek Battle Pack, that colour scheme. At least that's what I imagine. But again, I don't know. Give me a second though, I'm going to have a drink of water. I was meant to do this live stream the other week, but unfortunately I've been ill recently, so yeah, I couldn't. But yeah. But that's what the rumours are to be. But yeah, really, you know, when can I see these coming out? I mean, for me, December at the earliest. At this rate, December at the earliest. Because we're just about midway through November now. We've still had no official announcement. And that. Not even proper leaks. Pardon me. We've had that one leaked picture of the boxes. And obviously what the figures are. But that's basically all we've had. And yeah, at this rate, like, you know, first, you know, start of December at the very earliest. But yeah, I'm really surprised because, you know, obviously B&M will want these out before Christmas because the Doctor Who B&M sets are part of the Christmas range at B&M. Because B&M's Christmas range starts in August. Yeah. In fact, a lot of shops, their Christmas stuff, they start putting Christmas stuff out in August. In fact, I remember I was in Hobbycraft actually in July, and in late July, and they started putting Christmas stuff up before Halloween stuff. I remember that. Yeah. You know, November, it's like, still a bit early, but it's acceptable. Like, I went to Wetherspoons today, because today is when they bring back their Christmas menu again, and I have their Christmas cheeseburger. Lovely. Love blue cheese. And halloumi fries. Lovely. Yeah. But yeah, it's part of the Christmas range, and they want to get out ASAP. So yeah, I will say it's been quite easy when the sets did come out. Though when they have come out, every B&M in my area that normally gets them has got them and has still got them in stock. Yeah. The other day I passed like a smaller B&M, the one in Gateshead Metro Centre one, and they had 3 Davros sets, and they had I think they had 4 or 5 Resurrection sets there sitting there on the shelf. So yeah, I am glad this year and last year they've become a lot easier to get. You don't have to chase them down as much, unless you want them as soon as they come out, like I do. And that if you're not as desperate as I am, then it's a lot. You'll get them if you, and that essentially. But also, what's come out at B&M recently are now I haven't seen them in any B&M in my area yet, but I've seen pictures of what are they called? Master Reliquaries or something. Basically, the people who took over from Eagle Moss, who took over that, their first Doctor and 15th Doctor TARDISes are available at B&M for £20 each. And I'm not going to get them. I don't think they're worth £20. I really don't. Because also I don't think they're as well made, but also they use stickers on the signage on those. Rather than, because Eagle Moss, it was printed on. Like, Eagle Moss might have had their faults in that, with that, in terms of accuracies at times, but, with the TARDISes, they printed the signs on. Whereas Master Relic, or Reliquaries, whatever they're called, they've just used stickers on them. So, yeah. But, if they go down in price, which, if they go down to 15 quid or less, I might get a 15th Doctor one. Maybe a first Doctor one, but but I've only seen one picture of them in B&M. So far, one picture, but I know people must be buying them because I've seen a ton of them go on eBay. Some people wanting bloody 90 quid for them. But yeah, 20 quid, I'd say that's still a little bit overpriced for them, but still not too bad. If they go, I'd say 15 is like the fair price on those. Like 15, yeah, okay. Cause it's just, you don't get a magazine or anything with that. It's just TARDIS on its own. But yeah, but as I say, in terms of the B&M sets, yeah, for them, I will say the retail version of the 15th Doctor Ruby Sunday and also the 15th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver are all available on Character's website now, so you can order them from there. Obviously, you have to spend enough to get free delivery, but if you want them, they're on there. They're also on Rare Waves as well. And apparently, the 15th Doctor figure is being spotted in Asda. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, because I've never seen it in there personally. Though that's not to say that they don't. But, yeah, it seems like retailers, are giving it another go, like another push, and that, to see if it is successful on that or not. I mean, you can say what you like about this, but the classic series figures are always the most popular. It's just true. It is true. It is. And I had someone say, the 15th Doctor Ruby Sunday set is the best-selling character online exclusive. Not the best-selling, the fastest-selling set there's ever been, which can't be true because it's still in stock. The fastest selling one is the 14th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver, online exclusive, the original version. And then after that, I think it might have been the Jungles of Mechanus set. I don't know. But yeah, that's still very much available. I am not buying it, at least not at that price, because I really, I'm not fussed. I do not care about having a Ruby Sunday figure. I only really want a 15th Doctor figure to, complete the lineup. And that, to be honest, the psychic paper I want more than the figure itself. But I'm not buying it, at least not at 40 bloody quid, which I will say, I won't call it a rip-off, but I'd still call it overpriced. I think if it was 35, I'd go, okay. Like, that price, I'd say, would be fair. 30, I'd say, is really where I'd say it should be at. But 35, I'd say okay. And I have so many people compare them to but the Star Wars Black Series are this. Yeah, but have you noticed something? These are not Star Wars Black Series figures. They come with more accessories. They're all, for the most part, they're unique sculpts and that every time. These characters are trying to get as much money as possible out of them. Why do you think we have retail variants and online exclusive variants? To get the most amount of money as possible, as making as many variants as possible. We'll probably get more variants. Well, we'll almost certainly get more variants in the future. Like a coatless variant. I'm still surprised we haven't had a 14th Doctor coatless variant, but I know for a fact on the 15th Doctor figure, the jumper is sculpted all the way around the back. And you only bother doing that if, you plan on using that sculpt and showing it off at some point, because otherwise why would you bother going to the effort? So yeah. And also it's not a revolutionary thing. Like the ball joint, having pinless ball joints. It's something we've seen before in the figures. But we've never seen them do the ball joints for all of the joints. We've never seen it done on all of them. So I'll give it that. But I haven't seen it done for all of the ball joints and that before. On all of them. And the ab crunch type of thing. So I will give it that, but it's not like, these won't, these are completely brand new to anything else we've ever seen before. No, it's a slight step forward. Like, from the way figures were going, we were always heading in that direction. It isn't a completely new thing. We've just always slowly been heading in that direction with that, Doctor Who figures have always been adding new articulation, more and more articulation, slowly adding it more and more and more. Like, for example, who remembers the Series 11 Wave B, or was it Wave C, Max Smith figure with the ball jointed arms from Series 6? And basically from then on, all Doctor figures that came after that had the ball jointed arms. And that, if the line had kept going at the rate it was going back then, we would have probably got pinless, figures a long time ago. The reason we haven't is basically because, Doctor Who figures have been relegated to either online exclusives or B&M sets. Both of which do not have, very big budgets to them. The online exclusives have a slightly larger budget than the B&M sets, and that so they can do a bit more. But yeah, basically, obviously, resale figures, especially, have the most amount. But yeah, only two to choose from. Not really much of a wave, really. 2 figures. Like for me, really, to do a proper wave, you need to have at least 4 figures, and that to have an actual wave. And that, but yeah, and I know there's the sentiment of, buy them to support the line, keep them going, but at the same time, if it's a figure you don't want or you're not really interested in, don't buy it. Like, always vote with your wallet on what you like and what you don't like. Like, it's not our job, you know, to basically, you know, be giving character money, essentially. It's their job to give us what we want. And I'm not saying people don't want these figures. Some people certainly do want them. But for me, I'm just not that fussed on it. I will say they're nice figures, but I'm just not that fussed on them. And obviously, the Daleks have sold way more. Way, way more. So, I can hear my mum shouting for us or something. Because she's lazy. But, yeah. I'm going to put that on sound. But, basically, you know, it is what it is. I mean, obviously, Daleks have sold the best. Easily sold the best. And obviously, you know, the most lucrative and that out of them. So, what can you say? Obviously, Daleks, you know, they're not going to spend, like, what do you need to do with Dalek figures? They've already got all the articulation and that they need. The only other thing that we really do need is 80 Dalek sculpts. But we're never going to get that. We're never going to get that. Unless they ever decide, you know, Aldebar ever decides to do a Dalek wave. But to be honest, Aldebar's gotten bored of Daleks.
Mum Mobile is calling.
I'm going to mute my mic. Hello? Oh, God. I can hear my mum saying ring Alexa, rings Alexa for something. Fuck knows what. I'm just going to have to ring her because she's ringing us and ringing us on the Alexa, but when I answer, she can't hear us for some reason. I'm going to have to go and see what that is. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, say hello, Bob. You stay there. So my mum has knocked a bottle of vinegar over and it is smashed everywhere, so I'm keeping an eye on Bobby so he doesn't go in the kitchen while she cleans it up. So, yeah. Also, the reason I couldn't hear her when she was... Actually, because she went to ring the Alexa in the living room, then went back into the kitchen, so she couldn't hear us. Or I couldn't hear her. I could hear her shouting something, but anyway. You Bob, you good little doggy. Hmm? Yeah. Watch where you're putting your nose. Watch where you're putting your nose. Oh, don't knock all my stuff off. But yeah, as I said, you know, people buy the figures that people want. Yeah, you want this? Want that? Yeah? There you go, and you have that. If you want it, you're going to have it here. Anyway, I'll answer some comments now after that little fiasco. God, I can smell that vinegar from up here. Here we go. Matty Brown says, are you still going ahead with the Dalek build from the Hatchet now that they're finally getting a release? Yes, at least for the time being. But yeah, I will go ahead at least, you know, if I get, like, you know, a few issues in and I decide, nah, I don't want this, then basically, you know, I'll stop and I might just sell the bits that I have. But otherwise, you know, I probably will complete it. And I will say, when it was showed in Doctor Who magazine, I'm glad that they actually did some improvements to it. Come on, you stay down there. You stay down there. It actually did make some improvement. Where's that picture? Where is that picture? There it is. No. You stay in here. You stay in here, because I don't want you to get cooked. No. But they make some slight improvement, like for example the ball joints for the Dalek are black now in the final version. It should have the gold band if it's, you know, meant to be the one based from Dalek, the Mike Tucker Dalek. But yeah, it does look significantly better. Something I will say though, from the Gallifrey Guardian, it mentions it is an impressive 62 centimetres. Whereas on the original video, it said 82 centimetres, which would make sense because it's meant to be a half-size Dalek, and 82 centimetres is half the size of a full-size Dalek. So I reckon it's going to be 82 centimetres, which, you know, is massive. It's obviously nearly a metre tall. And that, so, you know. But yeah, it is an impressive thing in that. And I've worked it out at, like, it'll be, you know, unless the price increases, it'll be 50-60 quid a month. And then it'll be a bit extra on some months. For example, you have your first magazine binder is free, but then you have to pay for the second one, which you have to opt out to otherwise. But yeah, as I said, I did subscribe to it already, so hopefully my name should still be on the list, hopefully. Because obviously I'm going to subscribe to it and have them delivered and that free delivery, because it just makes more sense to do it that way rather than having to, track them down in stores and that, and risk missing an issue. Plus also, it's a lot easier then if, for example, you get a part and something's not quite right with it, or something's wrong, then it's much easier to, when you're getting it from the company itself. Oh, poor boy. You can't go downstairs yet, because there's glass down there. We don't want you to get hurt. No, no, no. Good boy. But, yeah, I will do videos as I get them. The first one should be in January. Or they went, well, that's when the first one's meant to come out. And, but, because they don't do it, they send you, like, one at a, they don't just send you, like, one at a time. It's, like, once a month. So once a month, you'll get, like, four issues at once. So, I guess that's a bit easier to manage in that as well. But, yeah, I'll put them again that as we go. The one problem I've got, and there's a problem a lot of people have, is that, if I do it and fully finish it, which is meant to take about 3 years, we'll see if that ends up being the case, is where the hell am I going to put it? Because it'll be bloody massive, and it'll probably be quite heavy as well. Because I thought about maybe rearranging where my current 18-inch Daleks are, and maybe making a space there. But then I realised something. They won't fit there. They won't fit there because they'll be too tall. It'll be too tall. My friend Reese, he considered getting 2, and maybe painting one of them up to be Dalek Sec or something else. And as I say, just like you'd be like $6,000 down at least if you did that. Because yeah, it's roughly about $3,000 or something. I calculated it at one point, and I can't remember what it was, but it's something like $2,500-3,000. And that by the time you finish it, which is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. Like, you're getting into full-size Dalek territory there, but it's much more affordable since it's broken up into, like, as I said, 50-60 quid a month. A lot of money. A lot of money and that. But I will say, look at all the features and that it has, and that they're like, do I feel like it's expensive and overpriced? Yeah. Of course it is. But it's also like, how many people are going to complete it? How many people are going to complete it? So it is a lower volume thing. But as I said, obviously the more people who get it, and that's, probably the more they'll be able to keep the price more affordable, and the more they'll make, essentially. Because they'll get an idea from the subscriptions and the interest. And obviously, thanks to that trial run in, what was it, Leeds? They did a trial run, a 4-week trial run. So, it'll be worth getting. And it is a cool thing as well. It is a cool thing. But yeah, to be honest, I need a bit of happiness in my life, and that'll give me some. So yeah, and it'll just it'll just mean I'll have to cut out other things and that. Don't, like, for example, don't buy as many records. Come here. Or don't buy as many variants of records. I'll have 2 versions of Linkin Park's new album From Zero coming to my house, hopefully on Friday, and 4 or 5 versions of the cassette. Give me a minute, because this dog is bloody... Yeah, I'll put the heating on. Come on then, Bob. Right, the commotion is now over. I gave my dog to chew on this. Yeah. Can shove that back in the bin now. Because he loves to chew on bloody cardboard. Or anything for that matter. Come on, live chat, wake up. There we go. Hello, Armand27. God, my throat is whenever I talk like this for long periods of time, my throat has just been getting really dry. So I'm gonna, sorry screen, but I am gonna suck a Jakeman's. I'm gonna have a Jakeman's menthol sweet. But something I only just got to doing recently was ripping Sarah Jane Adventures 1 and 2. Yeah. I only literally just did that the other day. And doing those because obviously the versions on iPlayer have scenes and that removed and that from the original broadcast. I think due to copyright or something. Not every episode has that, but some do. So I've ripped and that the original DVDs. But I'm still surprised to this day that we haven't had a Blu-ray release of the Sarah Jane Adventures, like as a complete series. Because series 3 and 4 got Blu-ray releases. Sorry, 4 and 5, sorry. But they're both long out of print and can be expensive. Series 3 was made in HD and that, but never released on Blu-ray. And until BritBox, obviously now defunct in the UK, and BBC iPlayer, there was no way to watch it in HD either. Because they weren't actually broadcast in HD originally. So, yeah. But, yeah, it would be nice to have a Blu-ray box set of them. And obviously, you know, include series 1 and 2 as well. And that, and do your upscaling treatment if you want, or just put them on as is. Because standard definition content on a Blu-ray will still look better than it does on DVD. Not night and day difference, but it still will look slightly better, mainly because Blu-ray has a much better video encoding and also has a better bitrate. But yeah, I'm surprised that they did that with that. They haven't done that with the Sarah Jane Adventures yet. Torchwood they released on Blu-ray and kept in print as well. And Sarah Jane Adventures was the more popular of the two. Because Torchwood was cancelled several times. Sarah Jane Adventures was never cancelled. It only ended because Elizabeth Sling passed away. So, yeah. I'm still surprised to this day Big Finish have not finished Series 5. Especially when you got C.D. Miller, you know, doing Sarah Jane now on Big Finish. And you've also had 2 series of Ronnie Takes on the World. Hopefully there'll be more of those box sets, because I did enjoy them. But yeah, would be nice if, you know, they were able to at least finish Series 5. I guess we'll do more Sarah Jane adventures. Because if anyone has the right, you know, to continue it, C.D. Miller does. Obviously being Elizabeth Sling's daughter. If anyone, you know, is going to continue it, if anyone has the right to continue it, it's her. But, yeah. Who knows? Who knows? I do know that Floor 13 was adapted into an episode of Wizards vs. Aliens. But, obviously, Meet Mr. Smith and the Battle for Bannerman Road obviously never saw the light of day. Have you seen the Penguin TV show? Yes, and it is fantastic. I'm glad it's getting a 4K Blu-ray release as a steelbook. So far, that's the only release it's getting. It's not getting a standard 4K or even a standard Blu-ray or DVD release, just a 4K steelbook. That's fine for me, because that would be the version I'd get anyway, but absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I watched every episode as it came out. And I've pre-ordered the 4K Blu-ray, which, you know, not an awful price, £45 is the resale price for that box set. And considering, you know, it's 4K, you know, it's 4K, 3 4K discs, and each episode, apart from one, is an hour each. Actually, no, the last episode is an hour and 6 minutes, and another episode is like, I think, 50 minutes, so it kind of evens out. But yeah, it's like just under 8 hours. And that. I don't know whether it comes with any special features or not. I hope it does. But, as I said, because not many TV shows get 4K Blu-ray releases. It slowly more and more seem to be coming, because thankfully physical media, at least when it comes to TV shows and movies, has had a resurgence over the past few years, mainly because people are sick of streaming services having to buy multiple streaming services, or things coming on or going off, mainly going off of streaming services, and realising, oh wait, we don't own anything. So, yeah, at least it's on the rise, at least with that. Not so much with games, unfortunately. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the next generation of game consoles were digital only. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I wouldn't be surprised. And in fact, I don't... this generation is the first generation of game consoles in my lifetime where I haven't gotten any of them. I mean, I had a PS2 growing up, then I had a PS3, then I got a PS4. I have no reason to get a PS5. I have literally no reason. My laptop can run games, and I can use my existing PS4 controllers, or I could get a PS5 controller and basically have the same experience. I mean, I played Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart when it came out on PC, and that was basically the final straw. I was just like, well, if they're going to release all the games and that, pretty much, you know, on PC anyway, yes, I might have to wait longer for them, but that's what I'll just do. And I'm not a gamer anyway, I'm not a gamer. I play occasional games like that. But, yeah. Just as is. I never played any of the Jodie Whittaker games that came out. Never played them. Mainly because one of them, I think, did it require VR? I don't know, but I'm not investing in that. Like, I don't like the idea of having bloody goggles around my eyes and that for ages. Mainly because it makes my eyes tired. It makes my eyes like dry out and that a bit, like having a screen right next to them, and that I have tried it out before, like in demos and that, and you know after half an hour and that my eyes were getting just like I was having to keep blinking. I felt just like having a screen literally just like there and that. Plus also having it rest on you and that, you know. But yeah, Penguin really enjoyed that. Another thing, which you'll have seen if you watch my other channel, Paddington in Peru. Go watch that. It's fantastic. Love Paddington in Peru. It was my second most anticipated film of the year. My first being Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul. I'm hoping that's going to be good. It'll obviously be the first one since A Grand Day Out which isn't co-written by Bob Baker. Because if you didn't know, Bob Baker, obviously co-creator of K9 as well, and wrote many Doctor Who stories and that, he co-wrote Wrong Trousers, Close Shave, Curse of the Were-Rabbit, and his final one, Matter of Loaf and Death. And obviously it's the first one without Peter Sallis voicing Wallace. Though I will say the guy that they've got to do the impersonations, who's been doing them now for, well, 20 years really, because he started doing, he was like the backup voice for Wallace in many things. For example, Project Zoo and that PS2 game and that, he was the voice of Wallace in them, and also Wallace and Gromit Grand Adventures and various other things. If you go on the Wallace and Gromit Thrill-O-Matic, for the most part it's his voice throughout the ride. Although I think there's one or two little bits where they use a little bit of Peter Sallis, because they just reuse audio and that. I can't remember which bit it is. They might have changed it since but yeah. If you're wondering what my third most anticipated film is, it's Sonic 3. Hey, it's all threes. But not the episode was like 45 minutes, yeah, so. I wonder if CO are going to re-release the Revelation Gatherer as well. That's up to Alduar. I'm surprised he hasn't. I'm really surprised he hasn't. I'd say if any of them get the re-release treatment, that one will be. Because it's mostly the same as Resurrection, with only a couple of slight differences. One is the microphone is on the other side. And obviously he has the removable hand feature, where he has the stump. But also, the top of the green switches have little white bits on the top, which is correct. Though there is the wrong amount of switches. Davros has 5 switches, not 4. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the figure has 4 switches, but the actual thing has 5 switches. The reason he probably missed out on the 5th switch is because the 5th one is a little bit further away. And also a couple of details with the controls on top are slightly different colours. I would like, obviously, both versions to get a release. Surprised we haven't got David Goodison, and again, why was he not in that Ruin Sascaro set? Perfect time to re-release him. Like, if that set was the Suicide Dalek and Mavellan and, you know, David Goodison Davros, I would have liked that set so much more. So much more, and I would have thought, okay, it's a lot more worth the money. Instead, we've got two identical Movellans, essentially. Slightly different skin tone, if I remember rightly, but they are the same sculpt. No matter what anyone says, they're the bloody same sculpt. And I know, because I maxed them up perfectly as well. I put them in my photo editor. Like, I took a picture of both of them and was able to line them up perfectly on each other. Like, there was no difference between them other than the slight difference in skin tone. So, yeah. That could have been a B&M set. Just seeing the Ruins of Scarrow set, that could have been a B&M set. And if it was, it would have been a really good one, but £40 bloody pound. Like, you've got the Dalek, which is completely reused parts, which didn't have a raised neck section, even though it should. Like, you know, either put David Goodison in there, or put another Dalek in there. Now, we could get another Destiny set, because there is still one major Dalek in that story that he hasn't done, ever. And that is Dalek 5... Was it 5... 2? Dalek 5 Goon 2. It's got... I think it's top of Dalek 5 and the Goon 2 skirt, if I remember rightly. And that is the Dalek in the story that is in the Genesis colours. It was the only one that never went... That never left storage. It was in storage from Genesis up until that point, so it was the one that was in the best condition, which is why it was also chosen to be the leader Dalek for most of that story. That you could re-release, have a release, you know, and have it obviously with the Destiny Eye, and also, you know, the black plunger arm, and that I think you could do it with or without bombs. But yeah, that would essentially just be, you know, the Genesis Dalek that Algo has already done, but just with a black plunger and a Destiny Eye, which I can't remember if the eye is completely black or whether it's got a bit of grey on there. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, there you go, and obviously blue discs. But yeah, have that with Davros. There you go, easy 2-pack. But who knows, because Aldebar just seems to be going in whatever fucking order he fancies now. And that. The problem is, it's clear that he's sick of doing Dalek sets. And that. I mean, he's all but admitted to it, essentially, from what I've seen in podcasts and stuff. But the problem is that, you know, B&M keep wanting them because they're selling. Dalek sets sell. 3-packs don't. And that. Unless it's, you know, why doesn't he do a Monster set? Again, a proper Monster set. Or a Cyberman set. You know, if they did, like, if he did that, if he started doing Cyberman 3-packs or Monster sets, they would sell. And one of the reasons why the 3-packs don't sell is, one is a lot of the time it's just figures that people aren't interested in. But another reason is that people buy multiple Dalek sets to army build. 3-packs, not the case. For the most part. Not the case. Like, if it's Cyberman, you know, then people are going to buy multiple of them to army build. Or if it's like a monster, you know, more of a generic monster set, you know, people are going to buy more of them to army build. The fact that we haven't had a Sea Devil release since pardon me, was it 2009 that Third Doctor and Sea Devil set came out? Yeah. But yeah, we've only ever had those two releases of the Sea Devil. That original release from the first classic series wave, and then the one with the Third Doctor. We've never had the Leader Sea Devil, which is a nice, easy variant. You know, just have it with the slightly different, you know, the cloaked netting or whatever you want to call it, because that's literally the only difference. But yeah, we've had basically a location Sea Devil and a studio Sea Devil released. And you could do that as a nice little... That could be a really easy 3-pack. Have the Sea Devil and the location version. Then have the studio version. And then have the leader version. Boom, there's a 3-pack. Or if not, you know, Sea Devil, Third Doctor, maybe a Joe variant, or another Sea Devil. Personally, I'd rather have another Sea Devil and that, but yeah, yeah, it's just stuff like that. But Alderaan does not give people the figures that they want most of the time. It's figures that he wants. The reason we got Emperor Davros this year is not because people have been asking for it for years. It's because he wanted it. It is. Because he admitted that it's a figure that he really wanted to get back out there. And that is why. And I don't really like Emperor Davros. Though he has his problems. The re-release. I still haven't been able to turn the head on mine to this day. The one that I opened anyway. I tried even doing the freezer trick. And his head will not move. I do know it should be able to move because Batman March is, you know, his was stuck and he managed to get his to move. But I've been unable to get mine to move. At least with mine, his head is facing forward at least, so at least it's not a massive deal. But if it had a one where there was a head pointing to the side, that would annoy the hell out of me. But yeah. What I think we'll get next year, I'd be very surprised if we didn't get Special Weapons Garlic in some shape or form. I imagine we'll get it with an Imperial. And hopefully he updates the slats. And finally gets the bloody eye right. Like, either do it silver or white. Preferably silver. Like, do it in that really shiny silver. And that they should be chrome, obviously. But obviously, you know, I know you can't do that scale on there. So just do it silver. With the gold pupil. There you go, nice easy job. But yeah. Do that, redo the slacks to get rid of the mesh again. And have that with a Special Weapons Garlic where have it as a hybrid because if I remember rightly, yeah. The bottom half of the original release was more accurate. I think, if I remember rightly. And the top half of the sound effects version was more accurate. So have those two together, there you go, you got the perfect one. And that, because, yeah, neither one of them is perfect. Neither one of them is perfect. The bottom half of the original release is better, like the skirt, but then the top half of the sound effects version is more accurate. So combine those two, boom, there you go. There you go. But hopefully that gets a release next year. In terms of other stuff, I imagine he'll continue with the new series Dalek sets. I don't know if he'll go in order and that after that, or just choose at random. And that's what, because it'll be interesting if he decides or not to do a re-release of the Dalek Sec hybrid figure. I don't know whether he'll do that or not, because yeah, it's the only humanoid Dalek figure really that there is that's an actual Dalek. I'm actually looking at my one that's brand new in box on the wall over there. I've got a loose one as well, but Yeah. If not, I'm fine if they skip that one. To be honest, because obviously, we've done Dalek Sec, and that. I doubt he'll do the Cult of Skaro. Maybe he might do the variant where I think it's. Is it Dalek Jask who has the syringe? Was it Dalek Khan? Was it Dalek? I don't think it's Dalek Thea. And I don't think we're going to see damaged Dalek Thea and that in the new sculpt. I doubt it. If we do, great, but I doubt it. Otherwise, he might just move on to Crucible Daleks. That Series 4 Supreme Dalek really needs a re-release. I would like to see the Magician's Apprentice version, though. I do quite like the red finish that it has, the gloss, almost metallic type finish it has in that story. But yeah, and then obviously when we got into Paradigms, I imagine you'll do all 5 again and then package an Ironside with one of them, and that. So yeah, obviously he could go back and do some of the Daleks he's missed, and that. And the thing is, why isn't he? Like, why did we only get that one wave of Big Finish Daleks? Like, there's so many variants to go for a Big Finish. And the thing is, Big Finish, you got a lot more leeway because you could just make up a Dalek colour scheme and say, oh, it's from this story. Because that's what he did for one of the Daleks, the blue and silver. Because in that story, there's no mention of the Dalek being a different colour or anything like that, anything significant about it. And obviously it's not on the front cover, that was just something purely made up. So, could he do it again? Could do that again? Well, there's other colours that could actually, get a release. But as I said, even though he's got the license to that, it's something that's just kind of been neglected. The only figure we had after that was re-released Dark Eyes 8, which was an improvement, but still. I need another drink of water. Tell you what, that Russell Hobbs mini fridge or mini bar, whatever you want to call it, one of the best purchases I ever made. And it was only 35-40 quid? Something like that. Yeah. Got a Facebook Marketplace, basically unused, and I believe it was still in its wrapping and everything. Absolute bargain. Because believe me, a cold drink of water, so much better than a room temperature cup of water. Or bottle, in my case. How has the paint held up on the stunt Dalek you made for that animation? Well, most of it, unfortunately, has gone missing. The paint's held up fine on the skirt bit that I still have. Unfortunately, one day the Dalek fell. The dome and bits of it fell down the back of my unit, and unfortunately, so they've gone down the journey, unfortunately. So yeah, but from the skirt and that's held up fine. The paint's held up fine, and as I showed earlier, the gloss finish has held up really well, and that on this. So yeah, and this clear gloss was from Poundland, and so was the silver spray paint. It was from Poundland. It doesn't cost £1. It was either £2.25, £2.50. But yeah, also, I should mention, if you have scratched CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, get some of this. Get some of this. This I picked up at Asda, but you know, other brands and that are available. But what this is it's obviously meant for cars. It's scratch remover, and basically what you do with this is it's the same solution that they use in those disc cleaning machines. And what you do is you put a bit, few splodges and that on the disc, and then basically you go around it in circles, going round and round the disc, and it then basically removes the scratches, and that. Obviously, if your scratches are too deep, well, there you go. But what it does is it, polishes the plastic, basically removes a thin layer, very microscopic thin layer of plastic. That's how you're polishing it. But yeah, that's something I always recommend, and that costs like £2.75, I think it is. Because unfortunately, there's the only place I know of that has disc resurfacers now is CEX, but not every CEX has one. But also, they only offer it if if the thing you're bringing in to resurface you've purchased from them. They don't offer it as a service otherwise, even if you're willing to pay. I know, because I've experienced it. But that stuff does the same job, and it's better because that means I can just go over it as many times as I like, and that, rather than taking it there, bringing it home, then seeing if it works or not. Quite a few discs that brought back to life, including a couple I'd actually bought from CEX, and I just did them myself at home rather than bringing them back. It was easier and quicker. Where am I at? Armand27 says, LOL, still haven't seen Paddington 2, don't kill me. How have you not seen Paddington 2? How the hell? Like, unless you're not British, how the hell have you not seen Paddington 2? And that would also suggest you've seen Paddington 1 and yet you haven't seen Paddington 2. Like, honestly, like, it'll be on TV over Christmas. It'll probably go up on iPlayer over Christmas. Like, watch it. Resurrection Control Graphics is from because Aldebar based it on a fan build. Gavra says Control... I've never heard that one before. I know the reason why this is incorrect is because this was based on an unfinished, not even a finished fan build, an unfinished fan build. And also the reason why William Hartnell's trousers are the wrong colour in the Sensorite set is because he went on Google Images and looked at the first colour picture he could find, which was a fan colorization where they'd gotten the colour of the trousers wrong. And that is a fact because he admitted it on a podcast. Perdo S2000 says, it's baffling how they got the Suicide Dalek slacks wrong. Already better mold for them. What, these? The newer slacks. The thing is, between the current slacks we've got and the older slacks, I think these are slightly too wide, slightly too much gear, and I think the other ones have the opposite problem where they're too thin. Basically. particularly when it comes to 80s Daleks. I think the older sculpt actually works better, because with that one, a lot of the time they were missing slacks, or they had bigger gaps in between the slacks. So I think the older one actually worked a bit better with those ones. They should do a Planet Dalek in the 2022 Genesis colour with the grey ball joints and arms. Why? It's meant to have silver ball joints. Almond 27, we saw the Reg 1 recently. And it wasn't terrible. It felt like a MCU Christmas film. Yeah, my mum, dad, and sister want to see that. I'm not particularly interested. They could do an SWD with a destroyed. I'm not sure what that's referring to. CEO could use the Big Finish license to do Cursed Daleks. That might be a legal loophole, possibly. Maybe it's kind of a little grey area. Because just because Big Finish had the license to do Curse of the Daleks, that doesn't then extend for then character to do them. So, yeah, bit of a... I'm not saying it couldn't be, but, you know, there's a lot of legal loopholes in these. Almond 27 says, yeah, I saw the original in cinema. Honestly, I don't know. It's been on my watch list for ages. Well, it's been on your watch list for 7 years, because that's how long ago it came out. Yeah, Paddington 2 came out 7 years ago. Which, yeah, is... wow. And the reason Paddington 3 Paddington in Peru took so long to come out is because it was in a bit of a production hell. Because it was originally, you know, meant to come out and be filmed... Well, I don't know if it was meant to come out, but it was meant to originally be filmed and come out in either 2020 or 2021. Obviously, we know why that didn't happen. And it kept getting delay after delay, and the reason is because originally, basically, the director of the first two films and also co-writer was meant to do it, and then go off and do Wonka afterwards. But since the film kept getting delayed and that during COVID, because of COVID and that, eventually he had to drop out of directing it, and you know, co-wrote and directed Wonka. He still co-wrote the third Paddington film, along with, I forget the name of the guy, but he plays Death in Horrible Histories. And he also has a cameo in every film as well. But yeah, Paddington in Peru has a new director. And it you know, he's still trying to emulate the style, but he does bring something new to it. But yeah, that's why it got delayed until this year. I don't know if they filmed it in 2022 or 2023. I think they filmed it in 2022. But yeah, basically just kept getting held back in that for various reasons. And obviously in the US, they have to wait 2.5 months. Because over there, I don't think it comes out until the 18th of January or something like that. Whereas obviously it came out the 8th of November here. I saw it on the 9th. Which... I thought the cinema would have been more packed, actually. Because I was seeing it on a Saturday. And it was an 11 o'clock screening. But no, it wasn't empty. But there wasn't a massive amount of people in there. It was like a good 60-70% empty. Which is great for me. But the film has been doing really well over here. It's the, I think it's the second or third highest opening of a film in the UK this year. Only being beaten by Inside Out 2 and something else I can't remember. Which, how Inside Out 2 made that made as much money as it did, I'm baffled by. Not like it's a bad film, I just don't think it's amazing. And that, oh, I meant the Bomber slacks were wrong on the OG mold. I meant the Bomber slacks were wrong. OG mold was way more accurate, so Aldebar. Yeah, but the Bomber Dalek in the Ruins of Skaro set uses the original slats, which I don't know why. I'm glad it does, but the Ruins of Skaro set does not use the newer slat sculpt. It uses the original sculpt. The bombs are placed in different places, and that's the original. But yeah, it uses the original slat mold, which I don't know why. I really don't know why, because the bombs are placed in different places, so it wasn't because the original one that he just used the original sculpt. No, I don't know why. It's one of those weird oddities. But yeah, there we go, I guess. No TARDIS set this year either. Obviously, we had the Joe Martin online exclusive, which I was so pissed off about for various reasons. Main one was it was non-electronic, which, why, at £40 bloody pounds? Why? No excuse. And then it got released at Forbidden Planet, where it was a £5 cheaper. Like, less than a month afterwards. That pissed me off to no end. Because I could have saved a £5 and bought it in a shop where I could see it. I mean, thankfully my one was alright, but, you know. It wasn't the case with the 15th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver, God no. But yeah, that was just a bit of a weird one. Either it didn't sell very well, which is very possible, or they just had no faith in it. I'm guessing it's the former. Inside 2 was pretty good. Best Pixar film since Cars 2. Nah. Because I think Cars 3 is better than Cars 2. I still like Cars 2, but... Like, the problem is, Inside Out 2 is basically just Inside Out 1 again. Like, Joy in that has to learn the same lessons again. I do remember it was pretty funny that part of the marketing for Inside Out 2 was, we have a realistic panic attack in our film. And that was clearly based on what happened in Puss in Boots The Last Witch, which, to this day, that has the most realistic panic attack in anything, in any film. At least that I've seen. Because I know I've experienced one before. In fact, I've had 2 panic attacks in my life, at least 2. Yeah. Puss in Boots The Last Wish, that's the most realistic one. CEO could technically use the comics and annuals as loophole. Depends, because if the design, it depends, because there's loopholes, but also there's loopholes going the other way as well, where they can't use this or can't use that. And in terms of comics, it has to be Doctor Who licensed ones. It can't be Dalek only comics. Because he did try to do that years ago. He did try to do that as a loophole, but couldn't. Apparently. What do you think of B&M getting the master replicas TARDIS. I talked about that earlier, so yeah, I went on a whole conversation. So watch it afterwards, because I went on for about a good 10 minutes about that. I really like Cars 3. I thought it was better than Cars 2. Puss in Boots 2 did not invent the panic attack. No, it didn't. But in terms of showing it in a film, like how a panic attack is realistically, that was really one of the first to do it correctly. Like how it actually, looks like. And that, or feels like, Because a lot of films would either over-exaggerate it or get it completely wrong. And that. But clearly that was the inspiration for it. Because obviously, if you look at Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, that's probably, one of the most famous scenes in the whole film. And that. But if you're comparing Puss in Boots 2 to Inside Out 2, then yeah, Puss in Boots blows it out though. I mean, I'm just talking about how they did the panic attack in terms of them, but Puss in Boots did the panic attack better than Inside Out 2 did. Not that it did it badly, I'm just saying that did it better. In terms of films, yeah, I'd call Inside Out 2 mediocre, Puss in Boots 2 like top tier, fantastic. Which I never expected. And that, I thought I'd like it, and that, but I wasn't expecting, that kind of tier. And that film was in production hell for a decade. And that, because they started on it almost immediately after finishing the first Puss in Boots. So that was in, basically, production hell for a decade. Its original title was called Puss in Boots: His 9 Lives, and then later got changed to The Last Wish, and that. But yeah, I'd be interested to know, what the original version was like. Aldebar needs to stop fucking up the Daleks, because most of the time they're not even real mistakes from him. That's never going to happen at this rate. I've fully given up on Aldebar, actually trying to make these Daleks accurate at all. Even remotely getting the colour right is... I thought, now it's just if I'm impressed if he even gets the colour remotely correct. It seems like now he deliberately goes out of his way to make the colour incorrect. Because otherwise, how the hell do you end up with this? Aldebar has admitted that he deliberately changes figures on re-release because he doesn't want them to be... devalue the original somewhat. No, it's not. Well, I know that's what he said, but realistic, he said in other interviews he doesn't like to have two of the same figure. Aldebar, it's all about his collection, what he likes. He doesn't like to have two of the same figure, and that. He likes each figure to be unique. Thing is, there's still ways to do that with Daleks, particularly, because no two Dalek props are exactly the same. There are ways to do that, and that in obviously more subtle ways, and still have them be accurate, but obviously Aldebar doesn't like that. Like I seen on Facebook, Power of the Daleks were done deliberately wrong, not factual. Power of the Daleks? What the fuck? I'm not, I can believe that more being a factory error, because, that was just got, silver shoulders at the back bit. Yeah, at the front bit is grey. And then weirdly it happened again with, and I do believe there's more of a factory error, it happened again with the Death Daleks, and I can believe that being a factory error because the prototypes and the production samples and that was sent out had black shoulder sections, whereas the final one didn't. And I had to paint them up. And I tell you what, that paint I got from Poundland, that matte black paint, that matched really well. That matched surprisingly. Obviously, it's just matte black, but still. Matched really well, that. Don't think we can fix the Power Daleks. It's kind of grey primer, yeah. Although with them, you'd really have to do the front grey section. The grey that he used on those Daleks was still incorrect. It was better than what he did with those bizarre, like, they're not even grey, they're like a creamy white almost that he did on the Daleks Master Plan and Chase variants. The thing is though, the most accurate grey he's got to the Dalek MiG section for the 60s Daleks, for those late 60s Daleks even, for like Power and Evil, is Dalek Click Sec 2, the original release. The shoulder section on that are much closer. Never did it again. Like that. With those ones. Yeah, weird. Because if you compare it to them, to that one, and also even the ones that he did in the original Chase set with the Mechanoid, like the shoulder section's much closer to that. Much closer to the original, like, you know. But that's Aldebar. I would like to see that Mechanoid get a re-release, and in the correct colour. Now, I will say, at the time, we didn't know what the correct colour was. We all thought it was silver. But obviously, the Mechanoids in the Chase should actually be blue. So, yeah. Whether that's an online exclusive or gets a release in B&M. Because if it's an existing sculpt, it can get, like, even if it's a Mechanoid, it can get a release in B&M. It can. The pricing, you know me, right? And that, but it can. And that. How long have we been going for now? 2 hours and 7 minutes. So, yeah, I think I'll start wrapping things up here, and because I want my tea as well. I'm going to put my tea in, but Got another question. They could give Special Weapons Dalek a new skirt for an online exclusive. That's not going to happen. I mean, it could be an online exclusive, but like he's not going to put the money into a new skirt for that. Plus, it would make it look weird next to the Imperials. It will look weird to have that next... And Emperor Davros as well. Like, Emperor Davros could have had a unique... Emperor Davros, this bottom section here, all around here, is all one piece. This could have been an accurate base if he wanted to. But it's not. It's not, and I think it was more about a necessity as well to make it fit in with the others. But yeah, that's never going to happen. And that, but I'm happy enough with it, and that, like, you know, especially it being a B&M release for $12.99. But Special Weapons Dalek, yeah, it's not going to be the case. Which I'm fine with. I've accepted it. Long since accepted it. And it's just like, well, you know, if that's the case, and that with B&M releases, and we still get them, and that, then so be it. If it was a retail release, then I'd have something else to say. If it was a retail release, but it being a B&M exclusive, and that, then okay. Fine. yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. And that's for this live stream. Hope you enjoyed this live stream. Hopefully we'll get some more information about upcoming B&M sets soon, and that. And if you didn't watch from the beginning, you might want to watch afterwards, because for like the first half-ish of this live stream, I was talking about season 25 and showing how they absolutely fucked up the special editions on it. But yeah, you'll have to go watch that afterwards. But yeah, I'm not mentioning him and that. So, alright, end of stream.